The moment I wrapped myself inside that carpet, no one could have guessed that the most powerful man in Rome would be enchanted the instant he saw me. But what was even more shocking was the truth behind the promise he made to me. I am Cleopatra, and today I will tell you the true story of my legendary love with Julius Caesar. In this tale, everyone thinks they know. The secrets you have never heard will leave you breathless. That night, as I walked through the corridors of my palace, none of us knew that within 3 days, the entire world would change. It was 48 BC. I was in the midst of a throne struggle with my brother Ptolemy, and my situation was desperate. I had been born a queen of Egypt, but now I was an exile, a fugitive in my own land. What would you have done? Swallowed your pride, or made one last move? That morning, when I learned that Caesar had come to Egypt, my heart raced. The dictator of Rome was here to meet my brother. This was my last chance. But what I did not yet know was what Caesar was truly seeking. I turned to Apollodorus and said, "You must get me into the palace." My loyal friend looked into my eyes and understood. Either this mad plan would succeed, or both of us would die. That night, I had myself wrapped inside a carpet. Yes, you heard that correctly. The Queen of Egypt would enter Caesar's presence hidden in a roll of carpet. But it wasn't just a dramatic entrance. I was sending Caesar a message. I am not an ordinary woman. I am bold enough to face you this way. And yet, inside that carpet, the only thing on my mind was not his reaction, but the expression I would see in his eyes. When the carpet was unrolled, I will never forget the look on Caesar's face. Shock, admiration, and something more. Electricity sparked between us, and then he spoke the words that stunned me more than anything I had ever heard.
Are you real?
The most powerful man in Rome was struck dumb at the sight of a 21-year-old queen. I looked at him and replied, "Isn't that what you came here to find out?" From that moment on, everything changed. Caesar was not only seeking a political ally, he was seeking an equal. And I had yet to realize that what bound us was not only love, but a far greater game. We talked for hours of Rome's future, of Egypt's riches, of how together we might change the world. Every word was like a move in a game of chess. Caesar admired intelligence in a woman, and I showed him mine. That night, he told me words I will never forget.
You are not just beautiful, you are dangerous.
When I heard this, I knew I had won. But I did not yet realize the larger game I had been drawn into. For Caesar's purpose in coming to Egypt was not only to pursue Pompey, he was seeking the treasure that would solve Rome's economic crisis. And I was offering him not just love, but all the wealth of Egypt. The days that followed were like a dream. Our journey along the Nile, our nights in the palace. Everyone thought we were merely forming a political alliance. But the truth was far more complex. For the first time, I had found a man who loved me not only for my beauty, but for my mind. When I was pregnant with Caesarion, whispers reached me in Rome. They called me the Egyptian witch. They said I had bewitched Caesar. If only they had known the truth. It was Caesar who had bewitched me. Have you ever found such a person? Someone who truly understands you, who loves not your power, but your soul. Before returning to Rome, Caesar said words that still echo in my ears.
You must come with me, be the Empress of Rome.
At that moment, my heart stopped. The Empress of Rome. the most powerful woman in the world. But it also meant leaving Egypt behind. It was the greatest dilemma of my life. I answered him, "I am already a queen. Take me to Rome, but I will still remain the Queen of Egypt." Caesar laughed and said,
You are an impossible woman, Cleopatra. That is why I love you.
When I arrived in Rome, I realized how different everything was. The Roman matrons looked at me with envy. The senators called me a barbarian from the east. But Caesar did not care. He defended me against them all. He even planned to make me his lawful wife, though Roman law forbade it. But Caesar was determined to change the laws themselves. Then came the Ides of March, 44 BC, March 15th. That morning, I said to Caesar, "Stay in the palace today." I had a strange feeling, as though something terrible was about to happen. But what I did not know was that Caesar's fate had already been sealed. As he left for the Senate, I was in the palace, playing with my son Caesarion. Holding his little hands, I said to him, "You will love your father very much, won't you?" At that very moment, the messenger arrived, breathless, trembling.
My queen, Caesar, has been killed.
That instant, my world collapsed. Have you ever lost someone you loved in a single moment? That emptiness, as though part of your soul had been torn away. But those who were there told me the truth. Caesar's final words were not "et tu, brute," but a single word.
Cleopatra.
Even in death, he thought of me. When Caesar's will was read, nothing was left to me or to our son. Officially, at least. But he had left me a private letter. When I opened it, my hands were trembling.
My beloved Cleopatra, if you are reading this, then I am no longer alive. Forgive me for failing to keep the promises I made to you. But know this, you were my one true love. Raise Caesarion well. Teach him the best of Rome and Egypt. One day, he will create the world we dreamed of together.
When I finished reading, I understood. Caesar had not only loved me. With me, he had built a vision of the future. I left Rome, but I was not defeated. For Caesar had taught me one thing. Power is not only taken, it is created. When I returned to Egypt, my people welcomed me. I was no longer just their queen. I was the queen who had been loved by Caesar. It brought me both prestige and enemies, but I carried with me the vow I had made when he died. I will never forget your love. My love for Caesar never ended. He lived on through Caesarion. And I understood that true love is stronger than death itself. I am Cleopatra, and this was the true story of my love with Julius Caesar.